Well, the first round of the People's Law School session held by the Mahoning County Prosecutor's Office, that was a success, so much so that they decided to do another one. And here to tell us all about it is Mahoning County Prosecutor Lynn Morrow. Lynn, thanks for coming on the Midday.
Oh, you're welcome. Good to be here.
Tell us, I mean, a lot of people signed up for this. What makes it so popular?
I think the community really wants to know more about the justice system and how it works. Last time we had a capacity of 90 and we were maxed out and had to turn people away. This time we could fit as much as 150 at the main library in downtown Youngstown. And I think people are enthused to learn and get a better understanding about the law, about our justice system.
It goes on over several weeks in the evening hours. What kind of things will they be learning?
Sure, it's a 7-week course this time that we'll be talking about OVIs. The State Patrol will come in and help us with that session. Sting operations and human trafficking, the Sheriff's Department will be there. Judge Rusu comes and talks about probate and estate planning. There'll be a whole session on constitutional law, criminal law, plea bargaining. Always a hot topic that people have an opinion about. So those are some of the topics. We're going to do 2-hour sessions, 5:30 to 7:30. We've built in more time for questions and answers. We ran out of time a couple times last session, so there'll be one speaker per week that'll give ample opportunity for input from the students.
From the ones that you had, late last year, what seemed to be the most popular, or at least the most feedback that you got on the sessions?
Sure, the human trafficking and sting operations was, we got a lot of feedback, a lot of questions, asked to do that longer than last time. The constitutional law that the chief of the criminal division, John Uhas, presented, he is a constitutional scholar and always provides an entertaining perspective on some of the issues. That got a lot of feedback. And then in general, they wanted more on county courts, the misdemeanor cases, because that's really where the average person is going to end up being in our justice system, with OVIs, traffic offenses, those lower level. So we're going to have 2-hour session for that this time.
For those who can't make the course, I'm curious as to what you would hope more people knew about. Like, some people really have no concept of, how things work at the county level, with the court system or anything like that. What do you wish they would know more about?
So I wish they understood more plea bargaining, why we plea bargain. There's over 800 cases that get indicted a year. There's 5 common pleas judges. The average trial lasts 3 to 5 days. There is no way to try all of those cases, nor should we use resources to try them when we can compromise, resolve them, and get convictions. That was probably one of the most contentious discussions last time we offered People's Law School, because people believe we should try every case and not make any plea bargains. There's very practical reasons, and we go through that list of reasons why. A lot of times it has to do with victims and what they request from us. So I think that's probably the session where people walk out going, okay, I didn't understand all of those dynamics in criminal prosecution, and now I do.
What's your caseload like?
The caseload for each individual prosecutor runs about 80 to 100 cases. Again, we have 5 courtrooms, 1 prosecutor assigned to each courtroom. And then we have the Violence Against Women and Children unit, the VAWA unit. It is the single largest, fastest growing docket in the county. Those cases are ever increasing with the violence against women and children. The human trafficking cases are always increasing as well. So those prosecutors carry each about 100 cases on their docket.
Does that compare with nearby counties? Are we looking at a much higher load here in Mahoning?
I wouldn't say we're looking at a much higher load. It's probably typical to carry 60 to 80 cases and do that efficiently. We just brought on a couple new attorneys, brought one down from Cleveland, brought one in from Pennsylvania, moving back to our area. So that we can keep that workload manageable, train some young attorneys as the older ones get tired and want to retire. So the ideal workload would be somewhere right around 60 to 80 cases.
You had touched upon just how important it is to speak with the victims.
Absolutely.
And do you consider what their wishes are when you prosecute cases, or if you tend to give them maybe a better deal, so to say, rather than take it to trial?
So it certainly depends on what type of case it is, how much weight we place on the victim's wishes. Marcy's Law, the constitutional amendment, requires us to keep them notified of every court hearing, of when we are going to offer a resolution. They have an opportunity to be present for the plea and sentencing as well as the trial. I've taken the approach in the Mahoning County Prosecutor's Office that victims' input is critical but not determinative. The attorneys who deal with cases daily are tasked with making sure what we do is justice and is proportional. Similar cases should be treated similarly. So oftentimes you'll have victims that want the death penalty for everything, even offenses that aren't death penalties. And our job is to educate them on what realistically should be happening, what happens in similar cases. We let them give input, victim impact statements in the open courtroom, but ultimately it is the attorney's responsibility on how a case should be resolved or if it should go to trial.
All right, I got us off topic a little bit there, so let's head back to the People's Law sessions. Let's talk about what time and the dates and when you can sign up.
So sign up started today. You could either call the office or you can go on our website. If you call the office, ask for Bella. She'll need your name, phone number, email address. Sessions start February 10th. We are taking off a week for St. Patrick's Day. We will not meet that Tuesday night, but otherwise it will be 7 sessions from 5:30 to 7:30. It is designed to register and be there all 7 weeks, not just to pop in on one topic you may have an interest in. Each session will build off of the prior ones, so you'll have that foundation of understanding for the next session. There's usually a break of about 10-15 minutes in between there.
Lynn Morrow, prosecutor, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on our